What's goody, y'all? It's Goody, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Gabbing with Goody Gabor. You can like, subscribe, and comment right here at Goody Gabor Gabs. You can also follow me on IG, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Goody Gabor. I appreciate your attendance. Now let's get into it. What's goody, y'all? It's Goody, y'all, and we are back with episode 2 of season 1, SWV and Escape, Queens of R&B. I say it's season 1 because the kind of drama they're giving up, it says to me that we would need a 2, 3, and 4. However, it seems that this is a special series, 6 episodes, and that's what we're getting thus far. As of right now, that's what we're getting. In any event, we pick up in this episode where we left off in the last episode. They are at Miss Gloria's house. Miss Gloria is Latasha and Tamika's mom. And Miss Gloria has put the camera crew out. Tamika is telling her, you do not have to worry about me coming to your house ever again. I am tired of this. Miss Gloria walks down to Tamika's car. Ocean's with Tamika. Ocean is Tamika's daughter. Miss Gloria is telling her, you should have spoken to me. There is no point in time that she says this isn't true. And on top of that, she's very aware of the camera and that they're filming. That's where her focus is. So, Tamika's like, I'm tired of this. I am tired of this. I did speak to you, and they took my money. The interesting thing to me is this. During this exchange, Latasha walks over to protect her mother. I did air quotes. She walks over to protect her mother, and she is seemingly very calm. Which is interesting to me because when Tamika sent the management group text an angry missive about the manager and security guards leaving her when they had no business doing that, Latasha got mad at Tamika chastising other people, not family, just other people. However, in a situation whereby Tamika is saying, you and your husband stole from me, she's calm. She's cool. She's collected. She's protecting her mom. The interesting thing to me is she's fake protecting her mom from what we're seeing, and her mom's really protecting her image, what people think about her. And it's disgusting to me. Another thing about this scene that is clearly obvious is that regardless of how they treat Tamika in this situation, Tamika has taught her daughters to be respectful of her mother, because as Tamika's trying to leave, the mom comes back. She's calm now to knock on the window. Ocean rolls down that window. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And Tamika lets her know, I gotta go. To me, it's bizarre, again, that someone who got upset when other people were being held accountable doesn't have any real reaction or response. She is what Ian Levanzant would call dead from the neck up as it relates to her being accused of doing something. It's really bizarre, but not really, because she did what she did. And when I think about what would make the mother feel like it's okay for Latasha to steal from Tamika, and when I think about the job that Rocky does, Rocky's jobs to me, I don't know him, seem to be directly related to Latasha working. He might have a few industry gigs here and there, but anyone who knows what this industry is good for knows that this industry don't be giving. It's not consistent. However, Tamika's husband is a corporate security guard. That means that he can guard celebrities with that inconsistent industry money, or he can protect guard CEOs, people who own businesses. That's the difference right there. I wouldn't be surprised if Latasha was losing her house or something of that nature, and the mother prioritized that over Tamika. But wrong is wrong, and the mother's dead wrong still is disgusting.
Okay, so Escape is busy being messy. However, when we get a glimpse into the lives of the ladies of SWV, what we see are women who have lives that are full and enriched. We go to Lily, who has found a place for herself in Atlanta. She Lily sounds like home to me because Lily is from the BX. She sounds like home even though she hasn't been here in quite some time. And she's funny. She's hilarious. However, her story, does have some hard knock life to it. Her parents died when she was young, not a child, but young enough to know that life was going to be different. Her older sister stepped up in a way that has her naming her sister the matriarch. Lily can't cook, ain't trying to cook. Um, when she was younger, she used to have to share a bed with her sister. First time she got money, she went and brought a king size bed. I get it. Um, king size bed ain't never been for me. I'm more of a queen, but I get it. Then we go to Coco, who, she now lives with her mom. Her mom used to sing. Her mom's from the church, and she had to lie to her mom when they were going for their deal and tell her mom that it was a Christian group. Ha ha ha. Sorry, mom, it wasn't a Christian group. She eventually came clean, but again, these are the things you go through when you're living life without a whole bunch of mess. Coco has two sons. Both sons are musically inclined. One is an emo rapper and he go off. She was bragging on her child. He got 1.5 million followers and his fans show up for him. And then there's her second son who she wanted to be a dentist, but he can sing. He can sing his face off. And that's his desire and that's where he's taking this thing. Then we have Taj. Taj is a married woman. Well, wait a minute. Before we go to Taj, Coco's in Virginia. Then we have Taj. Taj is in Texas. She followed her husband, who's a retired football player, to Texas. They have a son. Her son's getting bigger. She spends a lot of time on the road. That's the life her son knows. He's growing up. She's, a little nostalgic. And, it's just good to see that, yes, they have had mess in their lives. Yes, they considered Coco a prima donna. Yes, Coco went solo. Yes, that changed the trajectory of their lives. But today they understand, let's get this bag. And that's what they do on a regular basis. So I love the fact that SWV is here to give us balance. Once again, Escape endeavors to get together to start the conversation on how they can get back on the road on this SWV Escape tour. When Tamika shows up, Tiny and Candy are already there, and they ask Tamika, well, where's Tasha? Tamika informs them of what happened the night before. She lets them know that things went really left when she went to visit her mother, who called a family meeting. Essentially, her mother felt disrespected, and I guess she should feel disrespected because her daughter turned up on her. But there's a reason you turn up. You turn up when you feel like you're being disrespected. And that's the space they were in. But she tried to apologize, and the daughter definitely wasn't disrespectful. Ocean. In any event, Tamika plays a voice recording that her mom left for her, a voice message her mom left for her. And it is very ambiguous, and it has signs of trying to put you back in alignment with a dysfunctional family order that does not work. She tells Tamika she's not humbling herself. She never says Tasha didn't steal from you. She says you're not listening, you're not humbling yourself. God needs to humble you. And if we ever got into a situation where you ever put your hands on your sister, I would drag you and beat you myself. To me, that shows signs of a mother who has a favorite. Now, I am one of 6 children. I think I've said that before. I think I said that in episode 1. Everyone did not have the best relationship with my mom. And there have been instances where there was thought to be favorites, which for the people who I was thought to be a favorite-ish, because I am one of the quote-unquote golden children. That's what my older sister would call me. And she would rain terror on my household. And I mean just dark terror. And my mom had reached a point where she was done with it. And I was never done until it turned around on me. So I do know much about trying to protect a sibling, even though they're not in the right. In any event, what I want you to note is when Tamika says I brought up the money thing, when Tamika mentioned that money, the look on Candy's face and Tiny's face spoke volumes. They got their money. They know what she means. Okay, back to Tasha and Rocky's home, where again, these are the most calm individuals who've ever been accused of theft, to the point where it sounds like it could be real jail time. They're very calm, they're very calculated, and to me it just seems very manufactured. How you doing, babe? I'm doing fine. How you think I'm doing? Why would Tamika mention my name? And it seems staged to me. Again, I'm trying to reconcile the individual who was so frustrated that other people were getting cursed out that she interjected with this individual who was accused of doing something wrong and is very cool, calm, collected about it. Then Rocky asks what's going to happen with the group. She doesn't know what's going to happen with the group. And then he mentions to her, we have some solo things going on for you anyway. Interesting. I also want to note the strategic use of God in Tamika's scenes. Very interesting to me. They're weaponizing the Lord for their foolishness, but okay. We see Taj meet with Tamika, and they discuss their initial meeting, whereby Tamika had all these ideas of what they could execute on the tour, and Taj is very supportive. Like, I loved your ideas. I'm excited about the tour. And then they get to talking about Latasha and Tamika. And we get a scene of how Miss Gloria was treating Tamika even while they were having the discussion at the house. Bottom line, there was no point where she was not unbiased. Taj tells her that they need to fix it as sisters. But Taj tells us in her confessional that it's ridiculous for a mother to intervene in this manner. And she's right. A mom should not be picking sides. In this case, what good looks like would have been Miss Gloria saying, I'm not sure what's going on with you two, but we're going to fix it. Tell me your side. Tell me your side. Does either side transcend? Is either side bigger than the love you have for your sister? Because it can't be. And then let them resolve it from there. But that's not what Miss Gloria did. Ultimately, Taj tells Tamika, yes, fix the things with your family, but prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize yourself. None of this works if you're not happy. Once again, they try to get together, escape. Tiny calls them together at her house. And the goal is to have a business discussion. Tiny, Tamika, Candy, they are jovial once together. Latasha shows up. It kind of goes into the energy that she brings it into. So they get to the point because I believe Tiny has heard what SWV said. It's time to figure out what's going on professionally. The personal stuff doesn't really matter. So, they're sitting down and they want to have a discussion about management. They want to have a discussion about what's going on with management. Management hasn't made anything happen for them. Management is close with Rocky and Tasha. Management is who left Candy and Tamika locked out of their trailer. So when they look to Tasha to say, hey, Tasha, you start. You say that, you don't want to do business unless we have the issues discussed. You start. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to begin. Because until she apologizes to my mother, Tamika looks at her like, your mother. And I know something about this because when the sister who I no longer deal with would have issues, she'd have all kinds of issues with our mother. But when she discusses or talks about our mother, she references her mother as if my mother and her mother were not the same person. Whatever. It's the pettiness, it's the disgusting for me. Bottom line, Tasha don't know what she going to do. She's very confused about what she's going to do because she's not doing anything until her and her mother get an apology. And she don't care nothing about no money, all kinds of foolishness. She also says she was only there because of her love for Tamika. All of this is very, very telling. So for me, the thing that stands out is, again, you've been accused of this thing, but you're deflecting and making it about maternal disrespect because you think we're on TV and the community, our community, black folk, don't play when it comes to their mama. So you think that you're going to be able to get us to glance over at Tamika's side eye. But no, you're getting the side eye, ma'am. You're getting the side eye. So they get to talking, and while they're talking about the management component, they ask Tamika what she thinks, and she hasn't thought about it because she has to pray on it. And in Candy's confessional, she's like, of course she has to pray on it. She never says anything without Rocky telling her what to say. And hilariously, yet disgustingly, production cuts to Latasha's confessional where they ask her a question about escape, and he comes over and he whispers into her ear, and the producer says, what are you whispering into her ear? And he says, I'm telling her what to say. It's disgusting. So it doesn't stop getting weird with Tasha and Rocky. They're pitching this man of God, woman of God, house of God to us. However, and this is petty, I know, there's a scene where they're having a meal and Tasha charges her husband with praying for them because, that looks good on TV. And my guy says, God is good, God is great. Thanks for food on this plate. Yeah, that's gratuitous, but it's also like 5-year-old-ish, right? In this scene, it starts to get more weird because Latasha makes effort and takes effort to suggest that Candy has always been jealous of her. There's always been a weird tension between them. Candy got mad when she was singing lead, and she believes that Candy stopped her album from coming out. At the flip side, Todd, Candy, and Escape's DJ are talking, and you know, Candy's like, I'm not quite sure why it's gotten worse between Latasha and I, but it has gotten worse between Latasha and I. So it is what it is. And Todd says to her, the reason it's gotten worse is because she doesn't like how your life turned out. And I'm going to agree with Todd because it seems to me that Tasha, who has a beautiful voice, believes that her voice was so much more beautiful that she should be the one with all of the praise and the accolades, and she should have been the one with the album. Now, after this episode, and even during it, Candy was tweeting, and she was like, I had nothing to do with your label not pushing your album. You were signed to Jermaine. Now, for years, we've heard about Candy sleeping with this person, that person, and that's why she got her career popping. But the reality is Candy and Tiny became writers, and they were working really hard on their craft. Also, if Candy was dealing with Jermaine when he signed Latasha, then what Candy's saying, and she said this herself, clearly I couldn't stop her from being signed, so how could I stop her from having her album come out? She needs to speak to Jermaine about that. And the reality of the situation is they were on different labels. Candy was on Columbia. Latasha was on So Def. And yes, Candy says, because we're reconciling these things that we've been hearing about all the years. Basically, Candy was upset during the third album because as they were trying to launch Latasha's solo career, they were doing it in a way that was shady to the other three members of Escape. And Candy didn't like it, and Candy was vocal about it. In any event, this is all weird, and it's years later. You have the voice. Why haven't you done anything? Why do you think you need a label? It's weird. When Candy's talking to her husband and the DJ, there does come a point where she's like, it's almost like Tasha believes that she can't do multiple things and she has something else going and she doesn't want to tell us. That she always gets confused about the group when she has something else cooking. And we get there. Based on what Candy has said about the way Tasha wants to move, we now see the plan developing as we see Tasha and her husband Rocky go down to Motown Gospel to meet with the people over there, the label, and they're discussing what? Her gospel solo album. Okay, so now everything's making sense. Now we understand why they're trying to give us this put God first. Now we understand why Tasha can't be bothered with the group. We don't necessarily understand why she feels she has to be clandestine in her movements. We don't understand why she can't multitask. It's probably because Rocky won't let her, but we see it all coming to fruition. And for Motown Gospel, the gentleman asks how the group feels or how it's going to be with her recording her solo album and trying to be on tour with the group. And she lets him know that the group doesn't even know she's having the discussion. And he's okay with that. But for me, I would have been like, oh, deception. Get it, got it, and I'm good. It wouldn't have been me doing business with her because this is a bad look. I was listening to Bondi Blue a couple of days ago, and she said if Tasha used any of that money to record this gospel album, she going to hell. And it's pretty funny to me. Ultimately, that's where we are. We now see why Tasha's being an asshat. She has an opportunity for herself, and that's what has been going on for her. That's what's goody. That was goody. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later.